everyone, and welcome to Lunch for the Soul. I'm Melissa Wilson. I'm so happy to see you here today. Oh my goodness, do we have an amazing guest to introduce you today? Someone who means so much to me that I met many years ago. I'm just going to bring her in right now and we'll get the party started. Welcome, Presley Hicks. Hi,
Hi.
Presley. I'm so happy to see you.
It's so good to see you, Melissa.
Well, I have to show everybody, first of all, let's just start this off with a photo of how we met 10 years ago. Happy 10-year reunion.
Happy 10 years.
Hey, I tell you what, we look like we are just happier than larks right here. I think you made me laugh before we went on stage. So this was a fundraiser for Texas Children's Hospital, but it wasn't a very fun time in my life. It was for you. Hadn't you just completed cancer treatments?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, hold on just a second. Sorry.
Oh, no, no worries. So we met
um,
because of this fundraiser, though.
yes, we did. I think I had just finished treatment a couple months before that
Uh-huh.
picture.
And so it was
Yes.
such a fun time for you. And I remember you were so happy it was finished. The reason I said that I wasn't happy is because I was going through like one of the most insane times in my life. And that's because my little boy was diagnosed with leukemia that same day. And this picture was just right before I met you. So we had gone to a park just across from Texas Children's Hospital to take some photos here. And this is just, you can see on his little right arm, the pick line, you remember that, just
hmm
what we were thinking of what was to come and how we were going to get through it. And we were putting our plans into place. And he knew that he had to come up with, like just bucking up. And that's where you come in because you helped me so much. So, what happened, everybody, is I was scheduled to do this event as a medical reporter. Texas Children's had asked me to participate in this fun event. It's a fashion show where they team up local leaders and people like, in the media with children who are fighting cancer, have just gone through treatment like Presley. And so I was so excited to do it. But then my son Caleb was diagnosed, and they didn't know if I'd be strong enough, so they said cancel. And I said, no way, this is more important to me than ever. We're going to raise money for a cure, right? And that's when they decided to pair me with you because you had just finished the treatment that my son was going to undergo. I mean, how brilliant was that? And you were my mentor as a teenager. How old were you at that time?
10 years ago, I was 15 going on 16.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a crazy time. I was back in school full time. I was in high school. It was a great time to be myself again.
Well, and it was so amazing to see how grown up you were. I mean, I just feel like cancer treatment tends to do that, right? Like you almost become a young adult as a child. And I want to look back at your journey and you can walk us through that. And we're going to talk about how faith really got you through this time. But this is a little bit of a blurry picture, but that shows what treatment does to everybody, right? You tend to lose your hair. But here was right when you were first diagnosed. Tell me about
Y-
this.
yes, so that was I think the first time I had came home after my first treatment. So typically you would do a treatment and then be home for about 3 weeks or so. So this was the first time that I had been home, and that was the first time me seeing my sister after I came home. So we had to get a little picture because she had just graduated from kindergarten.
Oh, that was a big moment in your life, huh? And then we see you
Yes.
here. And,
Yes.
and
So that picture, I was homeschooled at the time, but if I was feeling up to it, they would let me go to school if I wanted to. So that
mhm.
was the first time I had gone to school since being diagnosed. So I was in sixth grade at that time.
And here you're so brave because it's so hard for kids to lose their hair, and you look absolutely glamorous. What gave you the self confidence as a young lady to be able to take a photo like that? Because so many times that is like an impossible dream for kids and adults.
Um, well, everybody always just every since I got since whenever I came bald, everybody told me that I had a great shaped head, so that really felt good,
Hmm.
and
You
honestly,
do have a
everybody
beautiful head. I have to tell you, it's
everybody just
perfect.
always told me that I had a perfectly shaped head to be
It
bald.
is
So,
perfect.
and then everybody just always kept me smiling and everything. Everybody was always trying to make me laugh, keep me happy. So I really never felt that. Like I never felt not confident in
Hmm.
myself when after I lost my hair. Everybody was always just so there for me about it,
Mhm.
and they would always rub my head for good luck and all that
Uh-huh.
kinds of stuff. So it was never a real downer.
Mhm.
So.
And there are so many things that I feel like the Texas Children's Hospital does for kids. I was looking back at just a few that I didn't think my son would get mad at me for sharing, but just like, painting it, painting at the
Hmm.
hospital, painting at camp. I mean, all these fun things. You schools like University of Houston coming forward and doing fun things for these kids. I mean, there's a lot of things that they've learned that if you make the kids happy and they're being artistic, that a lot of times you heal better because you're not thinking about medicine all the time, right? Did that help you a lot?
Yes, definitely. There were many things at Texas Children's. People would come into the clinic and bring all these arts and crafts, especially whenever you're waiting in clinic. They always have puzzles to do, they always have games, and all of these things to always keep these children distracted. And I think that's always the best medicine, is just making them focus on something happy and alive, and keeping their spirits up versus sitting there just waiting for the medicine to pump through their veins.
Mm-hmm.
So it Texas Children's is really, really good about that, about keeping those kids really happy and joyful
Mm-hmm.
while they're there.
When I met you 10 years ago, and on this day, again, it just blows my mind that we look so happy because I had literally been backstage crying with you seconds before this photo. But at that time, what would that young lady be surprised about today, 10 years later, as far as maybe your cancer treatment or anything you've overcome, or how much have you changed since that day?
Um, I still feel like I'm that same little girl in a sense. I've definitely grown up and done the adult responsibilities thing. I never knew that I was gonna be able to have children, because that was one thing that they told me that I
Mhm,
didn't know. And now I have a beautiful daughter that,
mhm,
and I'm working a full time job and going to school, and I'm doing all of these things that I never thought I was gonna be able to do at the same time. And I think just and I'm always prioritizing my family over everything
mhm.
else. And so I think that that's something that back then she would be totally proud that I've never steered away from
Oh, goodness, yeah, we've gotta take a look here.
that.
This is the love of your life?
Yes, that is my husband. That was the day we got married. We just had a little private ceremony with my family and his family. So yeah, that was almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years ago in
Such a
January. So.
beautiful photo. And then I take a look here, and like you said, this is the biggest news. And I can't tell you how this touches me so much because young cancer patients are told that there's a chance that it's come a long way. It used to be zero chance. And
Mhm.
they're doing so good now because they've tweaked the treatments through the years so that it doesn't affect you for the rest of your life. But you still probably had that doubt. What was it like when you found out that you were pregnant?
Um, well, it definitely was a surprise. And it was just like so shocking, I with how I was the first one at TCH in 9 years to be diagnosed with the exact form that I had.
Mhm.
So from them going and telling me, kind of like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. And if that doesn't work, we're going to do this. And with how hard the chemo treatment was, how long we did it, and with me still taking medicine and everything like that, I just never would have imagined. So, of course, we all, my family and me, had our reservations about how this was going to go.
Mhm.
But she's a beautiful little human being now. So, we are just so so happy, and she's perfectly healthy, she's perfectly happy. So they were a little worried about her size, but I'm a small person, my husband's a small person, so we kind of understood. But then whenever she came out, they told us, they told the doctor her weight and how tall she was, and she was like, what, she's not that big. So, but she has just grown beautifully, and we couldn't be more blessed with
Oh, that's
um, with
huge.
with
And then
God giving us this gift.
this is a super special picture for you too. Tell us about this.
Yes. So that is my grandmother, my mom and my sister, me and my daughter. So that's 5 generations
Wow.
of Boydston women.
That is special right there. Oh my goodness. That
Yes.
is so powerful to be able to see that and so beautiful. Well, I know it has to mean so much to you, maybe more so than anybody. I mean, just because of that fear. Unfortunately, it seems like childhood cancer, and it's actually a fact. It doesn't just seem like it, that the government funds it least than any type of cancer, which is why the fundraiser like you and I were doing for Texas Children's, that fashion show, it makes such a difference because that's the only way that they can tweak these treatments to make them less toxic, so to speak, right? But we
Mhm.
know that childhood cancer treatments do cause long-term side effects. How has it affected you into adulthood?
Um, I think I've actually been really blessed and really lucky to not take so much into adulthood. The chemo did wear down my teeth, so I did have to get veneers on my teeth. And, I did have hearing problems as a kid, but I think as I've gotten older and with the chemo, I wear hearing aids now. But honestly, over everything, those are really the only two things that I think I've taken with me
Hmm.
after. And so I've been really blessed and really lucky versus some of the other children that aren't as lucky and they take way more side effects with them into adulthood. But
Hmm.
I still know and I still keep in touch with some people from TCH and from the camps that we went to as teenagers, and
Hmm.
they're still just living their life as happy adults versus dwelling on the things that
Yes.
they've taken. So I'm just so astounded at their positivity and their faith
Yeah.
with what they've taken.
Yeah,
I
I
just
think
consider myself super lucky.
it's so important to focus on all the positive parts of it. And that's why TCH has that long term survivor program so that they keep an eye on everybody year after year and make sure that they're helping along the way, right? They don't just dump you out and say good luck. They
Right.
help lead you to your future and to make sure you're staying healthy, which is huge.
Yeah, and there's tons of programs for the LTS community for them to be able to go to
Mhm.
coffee on Sunday or do yoga in the park, or and then once a year they have an LTS retreat that they do. And a lot of these now adults take part in all of those to stay within the community and to stay positive and
Mhm.
keep that into their everyday life, which I think is amazing.
Oh, I think so too. And I always tell our viewers to pop in and say hello. And Piper just says hi. So hi to you,
that's
Piper.
that's
So
actually my sister's name. So hi, Piper.
oh, how neat is that? That's special. So hi Piper, thank you for joining us. And if any of you have comments, you can pop them up and we will try to say hello to you. Looks
These
like we
lights are
lost your
on a
light for a
timer.
second, but that's
I know.
okay. We're
These
all
lights are
good.
on a timer.
That's the love about live. So we're all good. Okay, so I have to share to everybody that so when we were at this event for Texas Children's now 10 years later. So remind you, this is us 10 years ago. And then I'm emceeing the event and I had to call you out on stage. And then this is the hug that I couldn't let you go. I think you were like, you're going to make me cry. I do remember you
Uh-huh.
saying that right there
And
on the
you're
right
like,
hand.
don't cry now, don't cry now.
And that was because right after that, we had to get you up on the stage because you gave the invocation, you gave the opening prayer for everybody, and you did such a good job. But I can't even tell you it was almost like a proud mama moment for me. Like I see you all grown up into a lovely young lady. You're basically a little girl the last time I saw you, and it was just such a proud moment for me. So I can't even tell you how special that was. I will remember that for the rest of my life. And just kudos to TCH for making it happen. Like that was brilliant.
Right? I felt so lucky for them to ask me to do that.
Yeah.
So it was an honor,
Yeah.
definitely.
April's here. She's saying, "That's cool." I agree. It was pretty cool. It
Very
was
cool.
very special. So what are you enjoying about being a mama now? What's it like to go from being the kid of attention and now your baby, I'm sure, is stealing it all?
Oh my goodness, yes. It's crazy, and she loves me and my husband. She's very, very attached, but she's also attached to his parents and my parents because they're at the daycare right now. So I'm so blessed to be able to have them, and she's with family every day and everything. She is obsessed with Bluey. It's crazy. She's talking sort of now, so all day we just get uh-oh, Blue, and mommy, and
Oh,
she
I love
just she
that.
she runs around everywhere. I mean, it's just so fun to watch her and the things that she does because she's crazy. She's
Oh, that is
crazy. That
so
picture actually was like almost a year ago, so she's bigger now, but we don't, really take professional pictures as a
Right,
family. So
right.
all of my other pictures are selfies and everything like that. So I was like, I just picked that one.
Oh, it's such a great picture. I love it. It's such a happy picture for right in between you two. Now, are you planning for more, or is one enough, or do you not know yet? Too soon to
we
say?
no, we want another one. But we kind of want her to be a little more grown and to be able to appreciate having a little sibling.
Mhm.
So we're thinking like maybe when she's in school.
Yeah.
And so we're thinking around there. I'm 5.5 years apart from my sister. My husband is 5.5 years apart from his brother.
Mhm.
So we kind of we got to appreciate being an older sibling.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that that's where that comes in. And me and my sister, we bickered and fought our whole childhood, but now as adults, we're closer than ever.
Mhm.
So there is that kind of that leeway point, but now as adult, I appreciate the difference,
Oh,
the
that's
age difference
huge.
between
It's
us.
so neat that you see that too. And look at this from our friend Lenny. He says it's a
Hey,
great story. So,
Lenny!
everyone, he is the event planner extraordinaire who makes these fashion shows into magic, and everything he touches is gold. So, thank you, Lenny, for being here. That sure was a nice surprise. I just wanted to say hello to him real quick. How fun! This is a little reunion here
It
again.
is. We're all coming together again.
Okay, so is it easier to walk the stage 10 years ago or this year? What are you
uh,
thinking?
Definitely 10 years ago.
Oh, really? Now, why do you say that?
I don't know. I guess I was just I was very nervous, first of all.
Uh-huh.
And Tamara, she knows how to pick out a good high
Oh,
heel.
yes,
So I was a little
That's
nervous
Lenny's
walking
partner in
in those.
crime.
Definitely was a little nervous walking in those heels. I got off that stage and I was like, all right, where are my tennis shoes at?
Well,
I wear flats every day.
you looked lovely in your heels, if that
Oh, thank
helps.
you so much. I think just I had so many kids around me and seeing where they are. I hate seeing that this is still happening to kids
Yeah,
even 10 years
I do
later,
too.
and so I think that's where my heart was kind of sad for that.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes, I loved being there and I loved being that person that people can look forward to, but it also hurt my heart seeing that those kids are still going through these things.
Yeah, I most definitely agree with that. And then let's talk about your faith. How did that all help you out in all of this?
My faith.
Yeah.
Well, so when I was first diagnosed, I really, my family, we it was my parents gave me the choice. They did never push it on me. My parents fully believed, but they didn't want it to be where, we I was forced into this. And so I one of my friends actually brought me to church, and she was telling me about God and you know how he's always there for you. And there was just one thing that they kept telling me is that he's never going to put anything on my plate that I couldn't handle. And I think that is really what pushed me towards him. And in about sixth grade, I accepted him into my heart, and I was saved. And since, you know that day up until right about I graduated high school, I was going every Wednesday and twice on Sunday. And I mean, it was just amazing to just feel the joy and everything. And I really did feel him, and knowing that he didn't give this to me, it was a part of my plan. It's been written out since day one of my life that this was going to happen to me, and I was going to learn about these blessings that, with meeting other people and meeting these children and meeting you, and our journey and everything like that. So one thing that I've always said anytime that I've talked to anybody about this is it's a blessing in disguise, because I wouldn't have gotten to know the amazing people in my life without it. So I really do believe that he doesn't put anything on your plate that he knows you can't handle.
I tell everybody that when I'm interviewing them, that at the beginning, it seems like you have to do everything you can to not question why me. You just can't go there, but to not
Hmm.
feel really sad. But at the end of every journey of everyone I've ever interviewed, and there have been probably thousands by now in my career, everybody says, I'm better because of it. I'm a better person.
Hmm.
I stop and smell the roses more. I appreciate my family more. I love bigger and better, So there are really good things that come out of tough situations. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, so I think that this whole journey has really made me realize
Mhm.
how lucky and how blessed and how amazing people are.
Oh, it's beautifully stated, Presley. Well, you have grown up into a lovely, young lady. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on that gorgeous, sweet baby. Enjoy being a mama. And if you have updates in life, I hope you'll reach out to me because I'd love to reconnect with you.
Absolutely, anytime.
I'll remember you forever and ever. Take care of you.
You too.
Cannot even tell you all how much she helped me 10 years ago. And I didn't even know how to put one foot in front of the other. And she made sure that I knew how. So, what a special reunion 10 years later. So, I hope you'll join me next week for Lunch for the Soul. If you happen to have joined us late, it's easy to go to our Fox 26 YouTube page and you can catch all of our Lunch for the Souls there. I hope to see you again back next week. Have a beautiful day. See you next time.